Howdy doody. Josh with the Bin Fund. Today we're just gonna be hanging up some stuff. And sometimes in these videos you see me and I have on similar things. It's really because I wear basically the same things all the time. I've been doing that for probably most of my life, if I had to say. But specifically, I'm wearing exactly the same thing I had on yesterday because I'm just still wearing the same clothes. Which means I must not have made it to the shower or anything like that since the time you saw me yesterday to today. And that's a realistic scenario. And a pretty honest one at that. How's that? Some might even say embarrassing. I wouldn't. I would just say I'm busy and I didn't have time for that. Also, I like to, as soon as I take this stuff off and hop in the shower, throw it in the wash right away so it's ready for the next day. Because again, I like to wear the same things all the time. All of the time. And I suppose if you fellers or whoever comes to see this video in the future are working jobs, full time, you probably have a habit of sometimes wearing your uniform home. Or even when you go out to the store and stuff. I know I used to do that. It just becomes your normal clothes. Guess what? These are my normal clothes. Just for a short while. Actually, it's starting to get a little warm out. Yesterday was a beautiful day. It was like high 50s, which for us in Wisconsin is like shorts weather. Shorts weather. In fact, there were points in the day when I was outside cutting the grass and whatnot where it felt hot, as I might say. And that is definitely a strange thing. If you live in Florida or California, you're like, what? 50s was hot? Well, yeah, it was to us. It was to us. Now, on the flip side of that, once we get through the summer season and we start to get to fall, everybody will be used to that warmer weather. And when 60s and 50s come out, we will have jackets on and whatnot. That's just the nature of it. But for right now, it's actually pretty common here in Wisconsin to, as soon we get through the February months when it's super cold. That first day when it gets to like 40, you will see people outside wearing basketball shorts at the court. That's just how we do it. And again, if you're in a state that's a little warmer than this, you're thinking, wow, what the heck? But you see people out here with just a hat on like that and basketball shorts out there playing. They've been cooped up. And they're finally free. Well, anyway, we're hanging up stuff today from quite a while ago. The reason it didn't get hung up way back on March 15th, I believe, was because that particular time I had run out of hangers. Or carts, could have been either one of those. And so what happened is it got put down on the floor and it sat on a tarp to be clean, and it just sat there. Now finally we're taking care of it today. But as I alluded yesterday, I'm a little bit behind as far as having carts put together. So I went today to the Home Depot and I picked up a bunch of wood so that I could go home tonight and build some carts. Also, last night's poll was amazing. Apparently, I sold 48 items on Saturday, which, if you're new to the channel, I'm not even sure if I've even discussed this on here. So what we're doing is we're listing 50 items a day. Eventually, we're going to get to the point where we're selling 50 items a day. That's going to happen this year. And we've been in the 30s range for a while. But we hit a peak yesterday, or not yesterday, Saturday, record 48 items in a day, which is too shy of the goal. And I know from experience of doing this for a while, when you do the same thing every day and you're consistently doing it, when I have a big peak like that, it usually is followed by a few days in the month after that that are similar to that, and as far as sales totals. And if I hit like six of those in the month, I'll say it usually takes about 2 months for the overall sales to catch up to that mark and be close to it. So with those numbers in mind, we should be in the 40s per day in about 2 months, which is a pretty exciting thing. That is a significant amount of revenue we'll be pulling at that time, which we're going to have to strategize for this year, because the sales will be such, or excuse me, the revenue will be such a thing this year that I will have to most certainly pay taxes next year instead of getting a refund, right? So, fortunately, I have a spouse currently, and the spouse has a job and has been paying taxes a little bit here and there through the checks. But next year, that return is not going to be a return. It's going to be a statement coming from the government saying, hey, buddy, you owe us some money with some zeros at the end. Now, the plan would be hopefully before that we're going to have some investment opportunities so we can negate that problem. First and foremost, thankfully, since I do have an LLC, I will be able to funnel some of that money to the children's, which is nice. So 2 of them will be eligible, because I have to, will be eligible for me to funnel money through and pay them for working in my business, which they do. The littlest one doesn't, can't do all that much because he's little. But he will be able to actually do shipping, because that's an easy thing to do. And anybody can grab something like this, fold it up, and stick it into a poly bag. The older one actually does help. I have had her do this for me more than once, actually more than a few times now. So we got that. And technically, I think I have to look at the numbers, but I think it's 13 grand that I can issue to each one of them. 13 grand I can issue to each one of them that will reduce my taxable income and have them in a threshold where they don't have to file and claim that income. Okay, so 13 times 2, you know. Well, I don't know if I'm going to be as aggressive with the younger one, but the older one is definitely going to have 13 issued. So, expecting about 20 grand I'll be able to reduce my income by through that method, which is nice. That's going to be a pretty good chunk. Now, for the rest of it, I'm thinking about. I still haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to do, but we're going to have to make a plan and do something. So that's going to be a big tax bill that I don't want. Now, one of the things can be done is I put myself on payroll and start paying myself a check, and then I can do what's called a self-directed 401k, right? Now, what's neat about this is I can contribute to it and then have my business contribute to it. So I'm contributing to myself twice. And when the business does it, it gets to be a write off for the amount that they contribute, also for the amount that I contribute. Right? Now, the beauty of this whole thing is with a self directed 401k, I don't have to just invest into, the stock market, which I don't have a problem with. Because what I would be doing is I would be buying SPY and selling covered calls every single day, 5 days a week, 52 weeks in a year. I would be selling covered calls and collecting that premium because it's free money. It's there for you to have. But anyway, you don't have to do that. You can contribute to your self-directed 401k and use that money and purchase a business or invest in a business or use it to buy rental income, a house or whatever. That's what's neat about it. It's self-directed. If you're stuck working your job, the only thing that you can contribute to is it's usually something that's like a conglomerate of a bunch of things that's tied to the market. We'll just invest into this blanket portfolio thing, and then it'll have some things tied to the market, like SPY. It'll be partially tied to that, partially tied to mutual funds and things like that. If you're going to do that, I would rather you just buy the S&P 500 index outright, But the reason that you're probably in that anyway is so that you can get the company match contribution, obviously, which is a powerful thing, right? It's going to be your free money for you. So obviously you should be participating in that. It would be a good thing. So that's where we're at. We're being mindful of these things that are going to have to be done this year before the year is complete so they can take taxable advantage. Some other things you can do is you can put money into a health savings account. It's my understanding that that amount you throw into the account immediately becomes a write-off. And you could say, for instance, you dump $5,000 in HSA. If you needed to, you could pull that money out and just reuse it again, right? Even if it's not health related. Just a way to play that, reduce that taxable income game. And I think there's limits to it, or maybe there isn't, or maybe I don't know exactly how you're supposed to be navigating around that, because up until this point I haven't had to. But this will be the year that I will be quite a bit more knowledgeable in things like that. So I will have firsthand experience in it. Looking forward, the outline, once we get to the point where we're selling 50 items a day, is I'm going to hire people to do this particular task, to do shipping, even to train people on how to do the pictures and listings, right? And I intend to pay somebody some pretty good money so they can learn and be motivated to be good at what I'm trying to show them. And then, once I got somebody trained completely that can do exactly what I do, I'll have them do the same number that I do, and then I'll do the same number I can do, and then here we are. We're double the sales projection now, right? So all of this should be taking place before the end of the year. We will have hit the sales target, 50 in, 50 out every day. We'll have employees coming in and handling things. And we'll be able to get to a point where we're going to go past 50 in and 50 out to hopefully 100 in, 100 out. Now, there are some hurdles that have to be negotiated before that's even a possibility. Because that's going to change my sourcing route, and that's a thing. So I'm not sure if I'm going to, maybe I'll have somebody come in and just do, I don't know exactly yet. But I need somebody to come in and do some work, and then I will be doing some work, and then together we will increase the sale amount. Yes, Belio?
How do you spell Henry?
It's Henry. Hen. RY. Got my son with me here today, asking me how to spell something. All right, looks like we're on the last item. Which would have this session complete. And, for the future folks who are going to watch this, you're going to see all these little nuggets of me talking to myself. I'm being entertaining to myself, which has been something I've been doing for probably my whole life. Telling these little things, as we would call them, dad jokes that are only funny to me. That's been happening for quite a long time. All right, thanks for hanging out. Peace out. Been fun.